Location 1. Location 1 of Jeffrey Martin's Scale of Consciousness, The Finders, Fundamental Well-Being. Hello, I recently introduced 2 new scales of consciousness. Next is biodynamics. Firstly, the Hawkins Scale, and secondly, the locations by Jeffrey Martin in his book, The Finders. And today I want to discuss with you location 1. Location 1 usually happens in biodynamics terms in coral. But anywhere in the second tier it can happen. Yellow, turquoise, coral, teal, usually. It is what I call awakening, and in the David Hawkins scale it's usually happening between 400 and 500. Personally, I think there are 2 subtypes of location 1, an abiding and a non-abiding transient one that comes and goes for a while. Okay, but according to Jeffrey Martin's description, it's lasting, abiding. So that's what I call awakening. So we skip the mini awakening phase, go right to the awakening, and the moment of awakening is the realization that what I have considered myself up till then is nothing more than a narrative self. It's a story. It's not reality. I am not myself. I'm not my story. I'm not my fears. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my worries, and I'm not even my physical pain. This shedding of the narrative self, or the identification therewith, usually leads to a drastic diminishment of negative emotions. It can even lead to psychological disturbances like depression vanishing, or getting much less strong, or even addictions disappearing and stuff like that. That is possibly why Jeffrey Martin got the idea to call it fundamental well-being instead of awakening or enlightenment. But of course here we are still far away from enlightenment. This is all still pre-enlightenment. This is the awakening phase, the realization that myself is just a story, that I'm not myself, that I'm not my story, that I'm much more. Then the disappearance or diminishing of negative emotions, or even things I viewed as problems before that led me to depression or OCD or whatever. And also the general new concept that everything is well somehow, everything is fine. Things that seem to be a problem cease to be problematic, and everything seems fine and connected and well and harmonious somehow and beautiful. But there can be new problems on the horizon. First of all, this disidentification with emotions and thoughts and narratives usually lead also to a lack of interest in the stories of others, of people around you who are used to talk about problems all the time. This gets less interesting, and this can lead also to a sort of isolation, or even quarrel with your partner. Also, you don't need approval so much anymore, and you're likely to stop giving it as much as before. And lastly, what usually happens in location 1 and also location 2 and 3 is a desire to help others to also see this new reality. It's very similar to Platon's cave metaphor and matrix. Once you've seen reality, or at least a more true form of reality, not objective absolute reality, but a much clearer vision of it, then you want others to see it as well, especially people who you like and love. So again, we have this path of freedom and path of humanity. Path of freedom is more secluded. You find out by yourself what's happening. And path of freedom is you want to free others as well, to others to experience this reality without worry and fear. So that's it for today for location 1, about location 1, which is Hawkins Scale 400 to 500 most of the time, and spell dynamics yellow, turquoise, coral, teal, mostly coral. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to it if you like the content. Thank you for sharing it with your friends. Thumbs up, hit the bell button, and see you soon.